All right, it is September 30th, 2020. This one here, I got a call from a customer who stated he has a couple gas leaks. And of course, the right thing to do is to always call your local gas company, have them shut the gas off and do a pressure test and find the leaks, and then you call a plumber and they come repair it. But sometimes that could take a few days, and if you have no heat because it's cold, that could be a little bit of an inconvenience. So sometimes if it's just a little minor gas leak, maybe all you do is you just shut the gas off and call the plumber and he can come repair it and then turn it back on and check for leaks. The thing is, now I have a customer here, he's got his local gas company shut his gas off and locked it, and he's been without gas for 2 days. So a little bit of an inconvenience, but he did it right. He did what he's supposed to do, made sure that he did it by the book. So he obviously has a couple leaks, and he said there's one in his crawl space and one on the furnace. The one on the furnace, he said, is just the union, because the gas company found the leak. But he said that the one in the crawl space is on a coupling. So I'm going to see what I can do. I mean, I'm going to probably have to cut out a section of pipe and then try to use a union somewhere, or I might flex it in. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, but I'll see if I can get you some shots. Here we go. Alright, so we're in the crawl space. The feed is over here. Comes in, goes this way. Tees off right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a 1/2 inch line. Feeds the dryer, comes over here. So this coupling's obviously leaking. And you can see, if I get up in here, yeah, there's not enough threads in the actual coupling. Wow, that's not good. Because you can see the difference. So you can see how many threads are in that one, how many threads are in that one. That's your problem. And then the furnace is over here. I'm on my back a little bit, so, but the furnace ties in right here, comes down, so the gas keeps going, feeds the rest of the house. Furnace comes here, nice drip leg, looks good, goes up that way, and he has a leak on a union in the furnace, so let's go take a look at that. Okay, so where's the leak again, sir?
So where the propane company found the leak was right here on the other side of this union.
Where it ties into the actual module.
The flange of the furnace, right, module of the furnace. And it's not leaking too bad, but it was leaking.
Oh, goodness.
And he also said that the installer of the furnace, not you, but the company who installed this furnace, and this is only 3 years old, that he feels that this union should be put on this side of this cabinet and keep the union out of the cabinet and bring a straight pipe right into that flange. Just take this whole thing and flip it and put the union
180. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's what
I think we could do that.
That's what he suggested.
Yeah, so you can see there's just a little close nipple, and then I believe that's like a 6.5, maybe a 7, and then the union. So what I'll do is I'll take it apart. It doesn't look to me like they taped these joints or at all. They should. It should just have dope. The special. Yeah, there's a special dope. But what I do is I tape them and dope them, just for.
Well, Co-Alliance, they do the same thing. They said the same thing. We tape and dope when we do our propane. Yep.
100%, just because it's always better.
Yep.
And you're never going to have a leak. Versus if I just dope it, that's going to help it push that joint closer because it's a lubricant.
Yep.
But you could have a leak.
Yep.
And
so
you don't want to do that.
This furnace is running now. It's not running on gas. So when it's cooler or it's not real cold, the heat pump runs for the furnace. So when it gets at 35, 38 degrees, then the gas kicks in. It's a very efficient furnace.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, pretty.
I never heard of that.
That's the that's the thermostat. So the thermostat's looking at the temperatures and all that, and we can set it to what. Oh, and I can tell that thermostat how much I pay for propane and how much I pay for electric, and that thermostat says this is your best option for cost.
That's pretty neat.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. All right, guys, little tech tip here. Always want to dope the joint. It's called a ground joint. It's a union. And what happens is it just butts up against each other. So always want to dope that. Makes a nice seal. And then also I closed up that close nipple and tighten that one down. So it's going to be all together just like that. Okay. Final shot there. Everything's put back together. Nicely doped. Alright guys, so I didn't show in the video here, but basically what I have to do is you measure the length of the pipe from center to center of the fittings. So what I did was I measured 55 3/4 from the center of the T to the center of the coupling. Now what that means is on each significantly sized pipe, so if you have half, 3/4, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever, you have a certain amount of threads that goes into the joint. Now in this instance, it's a 1/2 inch on each side. So that's my takeout. So that means that I have to subtract that from the actual distance. But considering that I'm putting in a union, that's adding back the same distance. So I'm taking the coupling off and I'm installing a union, which is going to subtract and add the same amount of distance that I'm taking out. So the takeout distance is just the same as the additional distance that the union is providing to the situation. I know it sounds kind of wacky, but I'm gonna go get this piece of pipe here from the local hardware store and a union, and I'm gonna show you guys it's miraculous. It works. The math makes sense. So I'll get you some shots. Here we go, guys. So that's the bad side of the coupling, but we're gonna take it out completely. So I snipped it here, gave the old let it rip snip potato chip, and then over here where the T is, I'll just back it out. We'll put the new piece in and the union on this end. I'm gonna tape it up, use the right tape and some dope. We'll be good to go. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I cut the pipe and I'm easily threading it back into this coupling, which unfortunately I can't reuse the pipe because it's not in far enough. I mean, you can totally see, even after I tighten it, this one still has more threads. Just piss poor workmanship. Gives us a bad name. Okay. Does that look like it was taped? No. Does this look like it was taped? No. All they put was dope. You can't do that, okay? There's no tape in there. And there's no tape in here. No tape. Okay? Gas requires yellow tape. This is what you put in. Okay? You don't just dope it. I mean, for God's sakes. This is why plumbers have a bad name. It's terrible. Alright guys, a little tech tip here. Always make sure you back them up when you're tightening a joint. See, I got my backup and then I'm tightening it. You never ever tighten a joint without backing it up. Because if I don't back it up and I just start cranking on it, that joint down there is going to be in bad shape. So you always back up your joints. Alright guys. Alright guys. Finished product. Got a union here. Took the coupling out. Pipe runs over. Taps right into the T. Feeds the furnace, dryer, all that jazz. It's 1 inch. So he's going to have the guys come tomorrow and check for pressure and for leaks and all that jazz from the local ordinance. Okay, sir. So what happens is I worked on your furnace here. I completed the connection, and then I completed a connection for a leak in your crawl space. If anything leaks at any point in time, when they test it in the next few days, please give me a call back. I will come back and service that for free. Is that okay, sir?
That's great. Thanks, Wesley.
Okay, awesome, sir. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, that one was kind of a silly mess up there. I made a correct measurement, and I took it to the local hardware store to have them cut and thread it, and the guy flipping cut and threaded an inch longer than I asked. So I took it and I didn't double check it. I went to the job, I installed it, it was an inch long. So I had to drive all the way back, have them cut it and re-thread it an inch shorter, and lo and behold, it fit perfectly. So anyways, I got it taken care of, got him helped out. He's gonna have the gas company come out tomorrow and check it for leaks, and hopefully they turn his gas back on so he can have some heat. You know, it's getting kind of cold, and you know, the elderly are not doing so hot. So, but I told him, I said, hey, you know, whatever we can do to get you going, we'll get you going. So anyways, guys, on to the next one. I'll get you some shots.